Welcome to our second quarter industry update. I'm Rita Santamaria. I'm the founder of Champion School of Real Estate, and I welcome you to our fast 45 minutes together today. But first of all, as you know, being a Champion student or a potential Champion student, that we love to do free events for our students. So be sure and write this down. We have our career fair all over the state this Friday at 10 o'clock. If you are a broker or a manager, we most definitely want you to be at our Plano, Fort Worth, Austin, San Antonio, Houston, North location. We have many students, brand new students, that will be coming by to greet you, the manager, brokers, company representative, in order to hopefully have you contact them. And then it's a win-win for both, because our students, please show up this Friday at 10 o'clock. Please walk around all over our campuses in the city where you're located. Meet and greet the brokers that will be there. So if managers, you have not let us know that you'll be at our career fair Friday, please email the campus manager, call the campus manager in all of our Champions regions and let them know that you want a booth. Students all over the state, arrive this Friday, 10 o'clock, meet and greet, have refreshments, get to know the leaders of the industry, and if you're looking for a place to locate with your license. Then write this down, June the 20th. I'll be right here interviewing spouses selling houses. And what that means is, ongoing, we have a lot of husbands and wives that say, gosh, we'd like to do real estate together. What is that like? Is it possible? And I'll have two outstanding couples that will be here. One couple has been in the business for not so long. The other couple has been in the business for a long time. And I will just ask them questions that you would like to know the answers to. As well, they'll be giving you other tips for success in real estate. So that's June the 20th, 9:30. You can soon go to our website and register for that. So hello statewide campuses. Hello all of our students. When I'm visiting the different campuses, as our instructors know, I love to walk in and just say thank you for your business, because we know without your business, we don't have a Champion School of Real Estate. So before I get started, please know how much I personally appreciate your choosing Champion School of Real Estate. Thank you for being our student and our longtime friend in real estate. So if you remember, the first quarter, I gave you the quarterly update on the housing market and many other factors that came from the end of 2016. And now after this first quarter and being in the middle of May, I'm able to bring you some other really good information. I sort of call these industry updates almost like the Farmer's Almanac, because in that almanac it had a little bit about everything. And farmers definitely relied on it to know when to plant the seed, when to harvest, and what to expect from rainfall and sunshine and how that would affect their particular harvest. Well, you've heard me say many times in real estate is just like being a farmer. We have to plant. We have to be so knowledgeable about so many things. So my goal this morning is to give you knowledge about everything that I can possibly give you in these 45 minutes. So I want to start right away with the monthly review of the Texas economy. And you'll be happy to know that as of April the 26th, 2017, just a week or so ago, Texas' pace of job creation exceeded the nation's for the year, and that was the information that they got ending in March of 2017. The state gained 250,000 non-agricultural jobs. That does not include government positions. And we actually had an annual growth of 2.1%, and that's higher than the nation's rate of 1.5%. So that's good for us. It means those people are looking for houses and looking for land to buy and vacation homes. And then as well, all Texas metros increased in their particular job creation, with just a couple of exceptions. And even though it's kind of negative, I just want to tell you what those exceptions are. All Texas metros increased in job availability, job growth, jobs, except Victoria, Longview, San Angelo, Odessa, Beaumont, Port Arthur, Midland, Wichita Falls, Texarkana. But when you take those few metros compared to the entire state, we obviously did really well. I know you'd like to know which particular metro had the largest job increase. That would be the Dallas-Plano area. They were number 1 in the state. And number 2, right after them, was the Austin Round Rock. So I know we have our campuses tuned in from those regions, so congratulations, you all were at the top of the job increase in those particular regions. And then what about the housing market? Well, according to the Research Center, March 2017, the Texas economy advanced amid booming oil production. Advanced oil production, shouldn't really say booming, although that's the word that was actually in their report, and a very strong housing market. But the one industry that really saw a huge increase was construction. And you and I can understand why construction employment would have been up, because of all of the surge in residential construction all over the state. In fact, construction employment posted its strongest quarter, the first quarter, than it has had any increase in the last 3 years. So it was the strongest quarter in that particular arena. And then because our Texas Business Cycle Index has received all of these good matrices and good metrics on employment and on housing, and all of the data has been so positive for us in 2016 and now the first quarter of 2017, that Texans confirmed their favorable feeling about the Texas economy, in that we had a 13.1% increase in the Texas Consumer Confidence Index. And that is quite a few points over the Consumer Confidence Index nationally. I want to talk to you about interest rates. The Fed has increased the rate by 1/4 of a point for the second time in 3 months. But if you look at your teachers right now, they're going to most definitely confirm what I want to say to you about the interest rates for home loans, raw land in Texas. And again, this is just Rita Santamaria's opinion, but I started my business in sales as a sales agent in Plano, Texas, and had a good living, sold properties where the rates were 15%, 16%, up to, I remember the last property I convinced in that particular high interest rate time, the last property I sold was at 18% interest. And yet the region grew with homeowners, grew with developments, and a lot of your instructors, having done business in the 80s, remember that. So when we're talking 4%, 5%, even less than that interest rate, and you possibly not having that experience get a little concerned when it increases by 1/4%, we have a long ways to go before we ever hit those inflationary percentages. In fact, I personally remember being so happy when the interest rates moved down to below 10%, 10% and below. So we're in good shape. And during that time period, it was difficult to even find a loan if you wanted to purchase raw land, because interest rates were so high and it was such a volatile time. Today, you find a nice piece of country property, you find your little ranchette, you find your lot that's on a lake and you want to build your vacation home, there's money to be loaned for those type of properties and loaned at a fixed rate. So don't worry about those small percentages affecting your business. We have a long way to go. Just an overall update. I know I had so much fun telling you in January around the state how all of our major metros had less than a 6-month inventory. In fact, on average, there were some that were 2 months, 3 months. Well, even right now, today, middle of May, on average, around the state, we have a 3.7 month of inventory homes available. Knowing again that 6 months of inventory is the rule of thumb we use, and that's just a good stable market. When we get below 6 months, we tend to move into a good seller's market, especially if we are at 3.7 months of inventory. And the good news is that's on average around the state. The days on market, if you remember from my first quarter update, I was so happy to be able to tell you that in Fort Worth, for example, days on market were under 30 days. And in many other of our wonderful cities around Texas, days on market were within the 30-40 day time period before they sell. On average, according to the report that just came out in March, on average, we are at a no more than 57, this is across Texas, no more than 57 days on market before that house sells. So, as you also remember, at the end of my quarterly update, I even send you my notes for free. It's another way of saying thank you for your business. And remember us when you are wanting your continuing education credit. Because at Champion School of Real Estate, we use the Louisiana term lagniappe, which means you get a little something more. You're getting the industry update, and then after the fact, I'm going to give you some great notes that you can use in your marketing materials. Because again, your clients, your prospects want good information to be given to them in the mail for them to take the time to read it and remember your name. So whenever you're spending your hard-earned money to send out information, make sure you put good information that will allow your prospect, your clients to hold on to it, certainly long enough to see your name and the company that you're with. So you'll be getting these before the end of day tomorrow. Okay, let's move on to, where our inventory is. Let's look at the national market for just a minute. I picked up a USA Today on Friday of last week, and Trulia had a nice article on most home prices are stuck in the recession time trap. We are not stuck in the recession time trap or time warp, but I wanted to just bring just a little bit of information to you on this. Why are you so fortunate to be selling in Texas? Because the market went out from under us in 2009, 2010, 2011, 2012, 2013, and during that time period, a lot of major cities like Las Vegas, Tucson, Fresno, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, Miami, just so many major cities had such issues, as you know, with foreclosures. Certainly Texas as well had foreclosures, and we still have foreclosures. That's just how life is. But those major cities across the U.S. that have come back full speed ahead, just to let you know, I thought it was quite interesting. Across the nation, we're not talking Texas so much, although they did put one Texas city in this because it's done so amazingly well. But number one on coming back from what Trulia calls our recession time warp is Denver. And then after Denver, San Francisco, and then Oklahoma City, Nashville, Tennessee, and they went ahead and put Fort Worth in there because, as we all know, Fort Worth is growing by leaps and bounds right now. And even though it's a bit negative, I'm going to let you know those major cities that are still struggling somewhat have not returned to the pre-recession of the mid-2000s is Las Vegas, Tucson, Fresno, Camden, New Jersey, and Fort Lauderdale. But we have a lot to be grateful for, because I also told you in the first industry update how that we are the second state that has the most people arriving that have left from other states. And the one that is number one is Florida, but we are right behind them by just a few 100,000 people. And then behind us is California, and it moves on down. So we have so many people transitioning and moving from other states into Texas for all those reasons that you put into your marketing report. Well, I was so happy when I pulled out the Forbes top 25 places to live, and this was just a couple of weeks ago. They published their new list, and 5 of the top 25 best places to live in the U.S. can be found in Texas, and that's the most of any state. But just to let you know, the number one place to live in Texas is the Woodlands, Texas, which is just north of Houston. We all are pretty familiar with the Woodlands in the Houston area, and I'm sure around the state you've heard of that beautiful, beautiful suburb. And it also ranked number 6 nationally for best places to live. And how do they rank best places to live? Well, cost of living, percentage of residents that have a college degree, average commute time, low crime rate, public school ratings, resident reviews, and most definitely the weather. So the 5 cities in Texas that fall in the top 25, the number 6 nationally is the Woodlands that I just mentioned, and right after that is Plano, number 7. Where's our Plano group classroom? There they are. I see some of our Plano people. Richardson, Texas was number 12. Round Rock, Texas, 16. Where's our Austin Round Rock campus? Aha, I see a few hands there. Hello, my friends. And then Austin, actually literally Round Rock was 16 and Austin was 22 out of the top 25. So those are the top 25. And you're probably wondering, Houston and Dallas and San Antonio, where you rank in the top 100. But I want to say this before I give out that piece of information. When you think of all the amazing, 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 amazing cities in the U.S., to be in the top 100 is amazing in itself. And so that being said, I will let you know that Houston ranked at number 57. Any of our Houston campus people out there, let me see your faces. Wave a little bit. There they are. Okay, perfect. Dallas ranked number 80 on the top 100. Where's our 80 group, our Dallas classroom group. Okay, perfect. And San Antonio ranked 90. So out of the top 100, we certainly have great ranking. And because I know you're rather curious, the number one place in all of the U.S. to live was Ann Arbor, Michigan. Okay, now we're going to move away from our information on housing and the Texas Consumer Confidence Rating and the job percentage going up 2.1 versus the state at 1.7. And I want to give you just some other pieces of valuable information. TREC passed a new 30-hour requirement that frankly affects all of us, but the requirement works like this. It's not any new additional hours, but it's how you're able to take your courses. And I'm just going to start out by saying, if you take a defensive driving course, or if you take a driving course, your son, your daughter's wanting to get their driver's license, as you know or may not know, you can only take so many hours a day in order to successfully get your certificate. So of late, TREC has moved into the same particular dialogue. A TREC day can be no more than 12 hours. So if you are a student, and what I'm going to do is use an SAE student. SAE means you're licensed. Once you're licensed, you know you have 24 months to get your 98 SAE hours. The 90 hours are comprised of 3 30-hour courses that are called now qualifying elective. You can take those anytime. You can take them right now while you're getting your license. But what you can't do is wait till the last minute and then try to take 1 or 2 or 3 at the same time, because the most per course you're able to do at a time is 12 hours a day. So if you were to go online, for example, and you were taking one 30-hour course, 12 is one day, next day 12, that's 24. The third day would be half of 12 or 6. So you are not allowed to go in and take your final exam until 2.5 days after you registered for the course. So keep that in mind. And then it keeps moving that direction as far as your second course and when you're able to take your exam, and your third course and when you're able to take your exam. So can you take all 3 of your classes and then take all 3 exams at the end of like the 8th day? Yes, you can. If you're wanting to get your license and you were taking them online, could you take all 6 classes over those 15 days and then take all of your exams at one time? Sure. If you are taking your 3 classes and you're taking 1 here and 1 there and 6 months later another, can you move at that pace? Most definitely. Again, what you can't do is, well, I'm going to be really basic. You can't get mad at Champion School of Real Estate because we don't unlock your exam until 2.5 days after you registered for the course. Again, that's not our rule. We're upholding the TREC rule on that because they're hoping and believing that we are all spending 30 hours on a course. So I just want to make sure that I get that message out to everyone. We do have that particular message on our website, and as well, very quickly, we will have the software in place so that you're not allowed to unlock the exam until that 2.5 day time period has elapsed. But do it early, then you don't have to worry about it. And again, I just want to add, you couldn't be in a better place to pay your professional license fee than Texas, because it is like one of the least expensive states in the U.S. to pay to continue to have your professional license, whether it's a salesperson's license or a broker's license. CE, you're not going to have a problem with that particular situation for our MCE people or CE people. And with that being said, I just want to add an exciting footnote, because for our students that every 2 years you're so very loyal and kind to remember how much we truly care about you, and you take your CE with us, we have so many cool, and I literally mean cool things going on in technology. That part of CE is not mandated by TREC. Certainly the 8 hours of legal are. The broker responsibility, if you need that, that's mandated. But otherwise, we have our wonderful success strategies. And for example, in the course, we talk about what Google demonstrated and talked about in January in New York City, and those are the Oculus Rift goggles, where you can do a 360-degree virtual tour. We have those goggles that Alan Hancock allows every student in our CE class to see the demonstration. When Google said they paid this young man that developed, the inventor of Oculus Rift, just in his 20s, and paid him a couple of $2 billion, he literally said in New York in January, I did it because I see real estate agents using it, property managers, builders using those in real estate. You don't have to jump in your car, but you could. But why not sit in your office and literally put on the goggles, and the builder can say, do you like this kind of crown molding or this kind? Does this color on the wall look good to you or this color? And it's going to save everybody money, because you won't have buyers changing their minds so much, because they could literally see it and see apartments and see homes. And we do that demonstration. We're so proud to also be able to talk to you about artificial intelligence, AI. 60 Minutes just did AI last fall, and we discuss it and have a class on it. You can literally take a 2 to 4 hour class on artificial intelligence and how it will be your personal assistant. And because it is such a unique, new field, we demonstrate it. We tell you how it works. We often bring in Ron Sassoon with Skylar 360 from Tel Aviv and have him demonstrate his amazing product called Skylar 360, this artificial intelligence. And it is a home run. Amazing. So our goal, our job at Champion School of Real Estate, for loan, for inspection, for appraisal, for business development, is to give you the latest and greatest, keep you up to date, and then do it in the delivery method you choose. And that's why just a year ago we brought in the live broadcast, and we have it available for all of our NAR designation courses. We have it available for our amazing appraisers that classes don't make all over the U.S. because they're all retiring. And last year we facilitated hundreds of appraisers with live broadcast, as well as doing CE and business etiquette, soon to be inspection. And I can tell you the NMLS were here just last week doing their audit of a live broadcast and said this is the best thing under the sun for our loan officers. They get a teacher, and the teacher, right now I can see your hands, your faces, I see what you're doing, and I know a lot of you like to munch and drink on your soft drink while you're having class, and that's what the live broadcast is all about. So in the classroom, look at these people drinking now. I said that, and about 16 people put a drink to their mouth. So you can either take it in the classroom, brick and mortar, with our awesome staff and our instructors. Online, we have a great online department, and the ease of online is excellent, or now live broadcast. But just know, our students absolutely say they get their money's worth when they take their CE with Champions School of Real Estate. So I'm right on time, because the last minutes that I have with you, which are 15 to be exact, I want to go into what I promised many of you when I walked into the classroom. I want to do a daily checklist for sales success. And again, before end of day tomorrow, you will be getting this. It will land in your inbox. You'll be getting it via email. So you can take notes if you want, or just maybe listen and think about how this affects you. So this will be your daily success checklist, and it will truly be in a checklist form. I'm going to start with number 1, and that is arrive and be prepared for the day. In other words, be dressed for a successful day. And I most definitely feel this way. You walk into our campuses, you see our teachers, you see our staff, they're dressed for a successful day. But I want to add, one of the executives for Google, who's in charge of 3,000 employees, a week ago I heard her say, when I walk into the office, I'm the example, I'm dressed for a successful day. And she said, they look at me and know by the way I dress, so do they. So keep that in mind. If you're a team leader, the way you talk, the way you dress, just even your attitude when you walk in, people are looking at it and wondering, is this going to be a good day or a bad day? But number 1, be ready for a successful day. And then prospect. I can't emphasize enough, every single day we prospect. And when I interview wonderful superstars, whether it's live as we did last fall, or now as well with our live broadcast, and I say to them every day, what is your one key to success? Prospect. Then I want you to keep in mind, before the end of the day happens, you write 5 personal handwritten notes to someone. It's personally handwritten, has a stamp on it, it's addressed by you. And those 5 personal notes are in my 30 Days to Success. Namesh Patel, who I interviewed last month, who is a very successful agent in the Sugar Land area, he said, I do that every day. Actually, he's the one that mentioned it. But the head of Realogy last week at the T3 Summit, the head of Realogy, who would be in charge of gazillion thousand agents, said, before the end of the day, I write 5 handwritten notes. So it works. Then I want you to read an inspiring book every day. I want you to spend 1 hour reading an inspiring book. And you know that one very positive, I think, for so many is the end of these industry updates. I give you my 2 to 3 books, book list for the next 3 months. And I do that because what comes together on this update is what I hear from agents and new people when I walk down the halls in our school. They ask me these questions like, what book should I read? And what are you reading now? So today, I will give you the 3 books that I want you to put on your book list. But I'm going to suggest you read that inspiring book over your lunch break. Because we start the morning out with our to-do list and we're all energized and ready to go. And then lunchtime comes and we're like, oh, and yes, take a break. Take a break. Don't work. Read that inspiring book, and then it will bring you over to the afternoon with a little more energy. We must have a to-do list. We must have a to-do list. Whether you do it first thing of that morning or the night before, just have one. Then you want to check out newly listed properties in your farm territory, because overnight you had your competition who got a listing. You're invariably going to have a neighbor that's going to say, oh, I just saw the house 2 doors down was listed. They're probably going to add a not by you. And your answer, you always need to be ready with an answer, and the answer is everyone has their particular agent they did business with in the past, and if that agent's doing their business the right way, they continue to use them, just as I want and believe you're going to continue to use me. We use the same concept at Champion School of Real Estate. We do a good job with your pre-licensing. We do a good job with your SAE. We want and love and appreciate your CE business. And the key word there is want. We want it, and we want to keep it. Then you're going to check out newly listed properties that are in your office, because those obviously you'll want to get to know, because perhaps today, tomorrow, this weekend, you'll hold an open house on one of those for the listing agent, and as well maybe you'll have a buyer that can buy one of those newly listed properties in your office. Okay, we're just going today, every single day. You want to send out a notice of sale for some particular sale in your office. Of course, we know that you get the permission of the agent who sold it, or notice of listing. Get the permission of the agent that listed it, and they're going to say yes, because if you want to spend your hard-earned money promoting my listing to get a buyer, happy for you to do it. But you send out, whether it's email, social media, or certainly in the mail with a stamp. Attend some type of community networking event, maybe your child's school. I don't have kids in high school anymore, but last night I attended a high school event, and I was asked to be there. I was asked to donate. I did, happy to do it. And then when I walked, my husband actually said, you're actually going to go to this high school event tonight and show up? And I'm like, sure. Because one of my customers asked me to be there. And I also donated. But when I walked in the door, I promise you not, within the first hour, there were 7 of my customers there. And they were equally as surprised to see me and thanked me for being there. But I had the wonderful opportunity at the T3 Summit to hear a great talk by Walter Robb. Does anyone know who Walter Robb is? Walter Robb is the founder of Whole Foods. He started it right out of high school, didn't want to go to college. He got a $10,000 loan from his stepfather. He thought people want and need organic food. He started his first little grocery store in California and then said, I need to take this concept to Austin, Texas. And that was his second store. And he said to everyone, my Austin store was my most successful in all of the U.S. But what he said was, people expect companies to give back to the community. So I want you to think about that. If that's good for Whole Foods and their 485 nationwide stores now and Walter Robb, it's good for us. Think about, are you giving back to the community? And I can say most definitely, at Champion School of Real Estate, we give back to every single community and more that we have campuses in. It's in our catalog. And next fall, in the new catalog, I asked our graphics person to put those amazing communities and charities that we just wonderfully, frankly, and graciously give to. It'll be on the front page of our catalog, because I want our customers to know that we're vested in what you do, and we do help the community. But think about how you can do that. And always have your name badge on, and always have your business cards when you go to any of those community events. Okay, you need to spend 30 minutes catching up on current affairs. I don't want you to sit and watch the news for hours at a time. You are a salesperson, you'll be depressed. I do want you to know what's going on out in the world. because you always, when you're driving around the car with a customer, when you're having conversation with friends and people at those community events, most definitely we must be informed. But at the same time, don't dwell on the negativity, and for goodness sakes, we don't bring it out when we're with our clients. We're always very, very positive. Check your social media posts and check them regularly for messages, for pictures, and make sure that you literally ask people on private messaging or on your emails, please go and like my Facebook. And yet we have to keep up with social media. The meeting last week, one of the major, and I want to think it was from Zillow, said agents today should be using your phone and the video and capturing short testimonials all day long and posting them on your Facebook. And that's what they're doing. So if they're doing it at Zillow, then most definitely it's probably good for us to do as well. And then we want to send out relocation materials every day, new people moving into the region, because a lot of agents look at this long list of people moving into their area and they're like, oh my gosh, that's too huge, can't do that. We know an inch is a cinch, a mile is a trial. Every day send out 2, 3, 4 relocation packets, because other agents looking at that long list, they'll never get around to it. But you did, and you'll get buyers from it. Okay, connect with your centers of influence via telephone. Again, this was Walter Robb, Whole Foods, and I quote him. He said that people want to connect with you voice to voice. And with all of his suppliers that he believes he's in a win-win relationship with, he has a set time where he calls them on the phone and just checks and says, how are you doing? So again, that phone, yes, it's easier to do email, yes, it's easier to text, but that phone is very, very important. We can even certainly call expireds. We can call notice of sale residents that we sent cards to, or notice of listings. But calling is the better key to communication. Then you want to select a property for an open house this weekend, because open houses are hot. I know we went through open houses over the years. If the market's down, it's going to be a little more difficult to get good buyers. But the number of agents I have run into in the last 6, 8, 12 months that have told me, I'm on an open house every weekend now. I either sell the house because these buyers have had 2 or 3 houses they've lost due to the competition over the property, and we move into that auctioneering type concept on being able to purchase, but they're out on the weekend, they walk into the house, and they've picked up a lot of buyers for that property as well as for other properties on open houses. And then the real key in real estate is every single day you need to stop and say to yourself, am I organized and do I have a good plan? Because I want you to think about this. We're going to build muscle through prospecting. We're going to build muscle through prospecting. And being organized and following through with that plan that you put in place will allow you to grow your company. Real estate is prospecting. That's according to the CEO of NRT. And your daily activity, literally, again, can't say it enough. His quote was, your daily activity is prospecting. And they're on the New York Stock Exchange, and as you know, they own all of these huge franchises. Real estate is the most enjoyable and fun career out there. But when the fun is over, commitment takes place. So yes, it's fun when you're on an open house and they want to buy that house, or you pick up a buyer and everything goes smoothly and you get to closing and you get your paycheck. But it's not so much fun when you've done everything you know you should do, you did it right, and the inspection causes it to fall apart, or it doesn't appraise, then it's not fun. Then it's your commitment that kicks in. Your commitment knowing that if you work hard and you do your daily checklist every day, you will never be broke. And I want to move that over because most definitely we all know that there are so many disappointments when you are your own boss, you're an entrepreneur, and you're in commission sales. But the takeaway again from now my new hero, the founder of Whole Foods, when he looked at the audience and said, if you work hard and every day you show up and you do your best, he said, I can tell you from hiring and training thousands of people, you will never go broke. Because a lot of the world won't suit up and show up for work. And if they do, they often don't do their best. So commitment comes maybe after the fun has stopped. Well, I have a couple of more quotes that I found to be really very fitting for those of us in loan, appraisal, inspection, business development, real estate. And one came from Will Smith. He said, money and success don't change people. They merely amplify what is already there. So think about what is there. That has to do with ethics and kindness and caring. And wealth creates freedom, and freedom is the ultimate gift of life. The journey of building wealth begins when you determine what you want and take responsibility for getting there. If you commit to something 100%, it's virtually certainly going to happen. Failing is a certainty. It's part of the journey. Don't waste a good crisis. Learn from it. Reap the value of that lesson. And I can tell you, having grown Champion School of Real Estate since 1983, my longtime teachers and my longtime staff, including the president of our company, Kimberly Didelowitz, can tell you not every day has been a home run because the economy, the up and down cycles. But I can tell you the end of a down cycle, there's always an up cycle. I've gone through 3 of them. In the down cycle, that's when you learn great lessons that help you when it's the up cycle. The only time you lose is when you quit. And then my last quote is from John Wayne. Courage is being scared to death, but saddling up anyway. So we need inspiration when we're in sales or an independent contractor. We need to read inspiring books. So I want to show you a couple. First of all, as I did the first quarter, this is my 30 days to success. Every single day I tell you what you need to do every single day. Once you pay for it, $79, you get the link to the video. Every day you're going to see me in front of you with my day open and tell you why this is what you need to do for that day and what the benefit will be. I want you to be sure and check our wonderful catalogs because our catalogs have free seminars. They have the schedule for the live broadcast as well as designation courses. NAR tells you just one designation and you should bring in over $20,000 more a year in gross income. And the 2 books that I want you to get on Amazon or wherever you like to purchase your books. The first one is the Harvard Business Review 10 Must Reads. And they have a number of wonderful, I call them Cliff Notes version articles, but they tell you where these came from, but they brought out the essence of each of the different books and the different articles, and it goes into things that we've heard about like disruptors in real estate, innovations in sales. This is not just real estate, this is all different entrepreneurs and it's the 2017 HBR Harvard Business Review 10 Must Reads. And the other one is where I got most of my quotes from. This just hit the bookshelves. It hit Amazon. It's already #1. It's written by David Osborne and Paul Morris. You may recognize their names. Wealth Can't Wait. And it's very, very real estate related. It's awesome. And when I say real estate related, we're Champion School of Real Estate in the real estate related business, whether it's real estate sales, loan, appraisal, inspection, business development. But this book is very inspirational. And when I said take just 1 hour out of your lunch and get inspired, or at the end of the day, you're not going to want to do that. You'll be reading for 2-3 hours because it's awesome. And it's Wealth Can't Wait by David Osborne and Paul Morris. Well, I thank you so much for being here today for our second industry update. In June, it will be a whole different twist when I interview spouses selling houses. It's all about them. I just facilitate with the questions. And then you'll get my notes by the end of day tomorrow. And I'll see you again for our third industry update, probably the end of August, but actually it's in our catalog. So when you go outside to one of our plexiglass holders and get our catalog, you'll find all of the dates there. Thank you, thank you, thank you for your business. Thank you, staff. Thank you, instructors, for having such care for our students. Bye-bye.